So back in 10 minutes with live rugby for all the fans back home. We're in the business end of the men's competition now. It'll be the ranking quarter-finals for 9th to 12th place. First of all, with Czechia, Poland and Lithuania, Ukraine. Lithuania and Poland are the two teams in the relegation zone at the moment, so they really have everything to fight for here if they want to enjoy another year on this championship series. We'll be keeping you updated on that as the games progress and the results become clearer, after which the real business end will get underway with the quarter-finals of the Cup. And the first one will be Georgia, France, followed by Italy, Germany, Belgium, Portugal, and a repeat of that women's quarter-final, Great Britain taking on Spain at 9:20 Central European time to round off day 2 here in Split, Croatia. The temperatures reach a peak at around about 28 degrees. They're starting to drop slightly and the shade is growing on this side of the stadium where all the fans are now gathering. Like I said, the action just 8 minutes away now. I'll be back with Andy Knight, our expert for that, after we gather our notes for the men's competition. All that coming up in just 7 or 8 minutes time. Don't go anywhere. It's all to be played for here in Split. Now we do get back to the action here in the men's competition. These are the ranking quarterfinals. Czechia, Poland will be the first one on offer. Czechia third in Group C, and in Pool A, Poland finished fourth and last. They are also bottom of the total standings in 12th place, while Czechia sit just outside that relegation zone on 9th. So they have a slight buffer there, but not much. They'll look to press on and secure 9th place in this competition as well today, or tomorrow rather, here in Split, keeping their championship run alive. We did see some upsets in the group stages. We'll talk more about that later when it gets to the cup competition. But it's been an exciting turn of events here on day 2, and we're looking forward to more of that to come. Here we see the Czechia squad. Like I said, they'll be looking to push on after decent results in Hamburg, and Poland really with their backs to the wall. They've got a lot of work to do. They'll need to secure that 9th place, I'd suspect, if they do want to stay in the championship series for another season. We're just 2.5 minutes away from kick-off here. The players are in the tunnel, preparing themselves. A relaxed atmosphere there, but I'm sure they'll be fully focused on the task in hand. Czechia wearing blue, Poland wearing red, and they're just about to take to the field. Don't be confused by the German and French flags we're seeing there. They were the finalists in Hamburg. They are not playing in this game. They are not playing for the 9th and 12th place. There we see there the right flags. That is Poland and Czechia, ready to take to the field. Andy Knight's been out doing his research. I saw him questioning some of the players and coaches in the stands, and he'll be giving us more of his expert insights as the day progresses and the action really heats up in this business end of the competition. Like I said, the temperature will be dropping shortly. The floodlights will be going on soon as well as the sun goes down here in the south of Croatia in the beautiful city of Split. And the players do take to the field. 1 minute away from kickoff now, not even. And the excitement rises for the final block of games on day 2. At the end of this block, we will know exactly how the semi-finals will look tomorrow. And like I said, there's been a few upsets today, or surprises rather. More on that later. That is specifically for the cup competition, but we'll have the ranking quarterfinals first. And as I said, the first one will be between Czechia and Poland before we get to Ukraine, Lithuania after this game. Czechia get us underway with a nice high kick dropping on the Polish lifting pod. They do very well to secure that cleanly. And trying to punch through the middle, trying to penetrate the Czech defence. They pile in with a counter ruck but go straight off their feet, so they're penalised, and that gives Poland the opportunity to streak away into the Czech half. Mazur Chodrok distributing well. He's always on hand to play that first pass, or very often he is at least. And Poland do keep possession. They're moving well up the park here, and this is a good, promising attack. Losing a little bit of structure with that phase, and Czechia identified the opportunity and tried to apply the pressure at the breakdown, but unsuccessfully. Meraki putting the pressure on there on the attacker, but Poland maintain possession, throwing the ball backwards, and it's gathered up, and a surge towards the try line from Siraki, and he gets us off the mark here. He had a very intense expression on his face before this game got underway, and he's got the scoring started.
Yeah, good pace there from Siraki, just heading on through a gap that opened up, pinning his ears back in his ponytail, and just firing on through under the post there with a good conversion, making it 7-0 to Poland. Good start for Poland there. Good to get some ball in hand and then really attack. Their heads were a bit down after their last game earlier today, so it's good to see them get into a good start. Hopefully this will get the chests out and get them thinking that they can go on to win this game.
Yeah, they only scored 5 points in the whole of the group stage, so they'll be really happy to get 7 on the board in the first exchanges of this game. And they've got a penalty now in the Czechia 22, so things going from strength to strength for the Polish. One of the teams with quite a few fans here this weekend. That may be just giving them the push they need.
Yeah, they're in a prime position here, aren't they? Right, just to the right-hand side of the Czechia post there. They've decided to load the left side. So let's hope we can see them running at pace and really going at this Czechia defensive line.
Scrum time here. Mazud Shodrak will feed. And Meraki bursts away. Poland losing the ball at scrum time, and Czechia on the way to try and level things up. Meraki, not for the first time this weekend, making a real difference.
Wow, what a break there from Meraki. From his own 22, a little weaving run. Managed to bamboozle 2 of the Polish defenders there and gets under the post for a lovely little touchdown with the extra points being added by Senar. But great scrum there from Czechia, managing to dislodge that ball, getting it spilling out there. And there we see on the replay Meraki just going across the field, and he had the pace and the power to get through the Polish defence and under the post for their score.
Yeah, pace, that's it, isn't it? There's no substitute for pace in Sevens rugby, and Meraki has pace to burn. And Czechia win the ball back from their own kick-off, getting the knee to ground, so that's a completed tackle now, and they recycle well. So after Poland had such a strong start, Czechia advancing now well in the game, and that looks like another opportunity here. The Polish defence just quick to disconnect, unfortunately, and that's offering a lot of opportunities for these strong runners of Czechia. Once more, stepping inside, getting the hands free for the offload. Unorthodox catch, but it works out. And another change of direction, so it's a little bit wild, a little bit loose right now. Hands to the ball in the hands of the danger man, Meraki. He scored 1. He's looking for a gap, but not finding one. Now he does, slipping out of tackles. Unbelievable from the wee man. That's 4 tackles he's broken on the way to try number 2. He'll take the whole team on his own if he has to.
Yeah, well, we've just seen his long-range effort and showing his pace, his aerobic substance there, and now we're seeing his power and his anaerobic ability. Short bursts there. Little sidestep and under the post from 20 metres out. Fantastic work there from Adam Meraki.
Yeah, showing all aspects of his athletic ability there. 2 very different tries. And that's got Czechia in the lead after conceding that early try. The Polish player just takes a knee as the physio gives him some attention, so the clock is off. We have 1 minute and 10 seconds left to play in the first half. And Poland are preparing a substitute just in case just in case the injured player cannot continue. He looks to be getting some attention on his wrist, his strapping going on. And that looks like a man who doesn't want to leave the park to me, and it looks like the physio will just patch him up.
Yeah, very rarely do you have rugby players that want to leave the park, that's for sure. They want to be part of it and do the best they can for their team, for their teammates. And I'm sure it's no exception here.
And as ever, the moment the referee approaches, he's back up on his feet and ready to go.
Good to keep the referees fit there, but Bogus there, back in play. He's a big guy. He'll be ready to get involved quite soon as we see a good high kick from Czechia once more.
Yeah, and they almost got their hands on that, slapping it back, but Poland do manage to capitalise, and they'll get a penalty as well. That's a funny old tap, but it's a good one, and that's your man from the first try. Sirocki once more with a good carry, and Poland cut back the blind side. Little basketball style push pass from the chest, lacking the accuracy. He had momentum, his teammate didn't, and unable to run onto that ball.
Yeah, Stratinsky there just looking at his teammate to ask what's going on, but I think if he's honest with himself, it wasn't the best pass. It was never going to hand. And he's running across the field with a push pass. That's a difficult one to ask your teammate to take, and I'm pretty sure it went forward as well, as Czechia now get the put in at the scrum in a promising position where they can launch from their own half and try and get into those wide channels and have Koblic chase this one down. We've seen him do this before. Adam Koblic, little one-handed pass out the back there. It's really good work there, and now he's there to secure the ball.
Yeah, it just looked like his momentum was going to carry him over the touchline. He did a great job to throw that backhand pass in field. And Czechia in with the win. Meraki looks to be free on the outside, but the pass doesn't come. So they recycle well and look to the right-hand side again, playing wide. And again, just stopped about 15 metres out from the try line. And they go back to the wide left where Meraki lies in wait. He gets an early ball this time, so he'll burst onto that, employ some footwork and play the offload. Czechia just stepping away from the contact, from the collisions, keeping hold of the ball, keeping it alive. Meraki goes to the try line once more, and he does manage to get the grounding behind his back despite the best efforts of Sabarit from Poland, who did a great tackle on him, but Meraki just can't stop scoring this weekend in Split.
Yeah, that was a lovely little dot down there for Meraki. Just when he powered his way over the line, he did get held up, but he had the wits about him to reverse his hands and dot it down over the whitewash to the avail of the defender there from Poland, who I believe was Sirocki, was it? I think I heard you say. And unfortunately the conversion not so good on this occasion. Senal not been able to point that in the right direction, had a good boot in it, but not there as we go into half-time. 19 points to Czechia, 7 to Poland.
Yeah, and that was another long half, 9 minutes on the clock, Andy. The temperatures are starting to drop slightly here, but that'll be exhausting and draining for both of these teams. Czechia delighted with their 12-point lead, and Poland maybe just the wind being knocked out of their sails as they look to be heading in a very good direction here. They now have 7 minutes of rugby to change the fate of their national sevens team, to keep them in the championship for another year. They do face relegation after being placed 12th in Hamburg. Here we see that scrum against the head from Czechia that got things underway for them in terms of point scoring. Meraki going the length of the field, swerving and weaving, showing his pace and balance and awareness before he pulled this one out the bag. beating defenders for fun. They're just falling off him on the way to try number 2 for Czechia, try number 2 for Meraki, and his hat-trick. The least spectacular of all three, but none less important, and all the points count the same.
Yeah, the sun's just starting to dip down behind the building where we are. However, it's still got a little bit of influence here as the players look to kick off this second half. I'm sure, as you said, Poland will be looking to fight their way away from that 12th position they had in Hamburg and try and get up the rankings a little bit so there's no relegation involved, but they've got to work a little harder here against the strong Czechian team.
Yeah, absolutely, Andy, and it's going to take a mammoth effort as we see Koblic racing off for try number 4 for Czechia. There's no stopping them now. They're running rampant all of a sudden after a difficult start to the game. And you can see the body language of Poland. It feels almost like they've accepted their fate. I know inside they'll be burning to make a difference still, but when the heads start dropping and the opponents start puffing their chests, it's always going to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, that was good play from Czechia there. I mean, Adam Koblic has got a good bit of speed about him, so he's a difficult man to put down, but Poland, they got themselves in the wrong position a little bit defensively. They didn't quite man up, as it were, or go man on man. Just allowed the little gap for Koblic to have a speed down, or have the speed down the outside there. And on that occasion, Soroki just didn't have enough to go and chase him. As we see the kickoff going nice and high again, Poland gathering much better this time.
Yeah, that was a really good take under a lot of pressure there. So Poland, it's not like they're doing everything wrong. They're just struggling to make the breakthroughs here. And once again, just an accuracy in the pass and the catch, and these base skills of rugby union are so important when you're playing in championships.
Absolutely, and it comes with experience, it comes with practice, it comes with training with the best and playing against the best as well. So that will come with time. And on this occasion, as we said, the pass is not quite going to hand. They just need to concentrate a little bit more and get a little bit of pace on, as we see a couple of changes coming into play there. Koblic, the try scorer, coming off for a well-earned rest. He's over on that left wing in the sun, and it's not great for the Gingers, is it?
It's not at all. I don't know who you're referring to, Andy. Can't think of any other Gingers here, to be honest. Marini from Belgium, right? It's not me.
Enough animosity against the Redheads there as we go back to the action. Czechia trying to drive over there, just didn't quite have the power to go over and get held up by Poland. It's a Poland scrum, so I'm not 100% sure what happened there. We've not got the best view at the moment. However, we are seeing a change here for Poland. As the big number 2, he's a unit, isn't he? Rembowski. The great Rembowski, as he shall be known. He's a big boy.
You beat me to it, Andy. I was wanting to crack the same joke. Okay, we've got to behave ourselves now. We can't have too much fun. This is serious business. Poland are off. Again, coming under great pressure from Czechia, and they have the penalty. They're 5 metres out. They're ducking and diving and weaving and over. Just extending the lead, and once more, Poland just struggling to get anything out of this. They burst onto the field, Poland, but since then the tries started raining down thick and fast from Czechia.
Yeah, Pavel Kruse there just powering over, short range but speed of thought as well. The reaction times to make sure he got the tap, he got the goal, and off he went. In for a try, taking Czechia with the conversion up to 31 points to 7.
Three and a half minutes left of play in the second half. Czechia with a beautiful hanging kick. and it's misjudged by Poland, so Czechia looked to come up with the ball, but they've knocked it on along the way. David Surga is a little bit upset about that, but they won't mind all too much. They have a 31 points to 7 advantage with now only 3 minutes left on the clock. It's Poland with the work to do, and it's Poland in possession.
Yeah, I can't see them coming back from this, unfortunately, but what they can do is show what they can do for the next matches and put a couple of plays together, holding on to ball, getting into the wide channels and really attacking as a team, and that's what they're trying to do, go out to the outside channels once more.
Yeah, it was lovely play that just released Janiek for a minute, and he's cut back in field well, and Poland recycle the ball, but the Czechia defence very well organised, and look at them pushing up, getting in the faces of Poland, taking the space, taking the opportunities, and strong tackles raining down. A little blindside attack, that looks more promising. So Poland doing a lot of really good stuff here. It's not quite getting the reward, but they keep looking for it. Once more, dominant tackle coming in from Czechia, and they manage to hold up the attacking side, winning back the ball through a scrum.
Yeah, that was good defensive work there from Czechia, wasn't it? As you just said, dominant there and just really forcing Poland to go back inside and making those strong hits, holding them up and eventually forcing the error for the scrum. Almost midfield, being able to split the attackers down each side once more.
Yeah, and Czechia come off doing the simple things well to great effect. Lovely little out the back door offload and a couple of strong fends sends in Czechia for yet another try through Aschenbrenner. That name does sound very German, but he is born in Czechia.
Yeah, lovely little play from Aschenbrenner there. Just got the lovely one-handed offload into his hands on the outside, stepped back in, he had 2 fens, and then he had enough speed to run the 12 metres over underneath the posts for a score to make the kick a lot simpler. And it was a good kick again by Senal. Czechia leading this game 38 points to 7.
Yeah, and we're just approaching the dying phases as well here. We've got 15 seconds left on the clock as that kick goes up in the air. David Surga trying to make a nuisance of himself again, and he does so. That's the man with the ball in his hands, running backwards, running forwards now, and finding a gap. A half gap at least. That is the hooter. They can get the ball off the park if they want, but they want more points. They're having fun out there, scoring tries for fun. That's Aschenbrenner again. He's got a brace in this quarter-final for the ranking tournament.
Yeah, he's not overly happy at the Polish defender coming in and crashing down on him. Quite within his rights there. He hadn't put the ball down, so he's going to dive for him. However, at that stage, I don't think it would have made a difference, so maybe a bit cheeky of the Polish player there. A bit frustrated at where they're at just now. But a good score at the end of the day by Aschenbrenner to take the points to 43-7. Kick to come from Bednar. Just drifts off wide. The game will finish 43 points to 7.
It will indeed. And that is then the first of these quarterfinals in the ranking tournament. And we see some apologies now between the players. They're shaking hands. So humility does win at the end of the day for the Polish players. And we move on swiftly to the next fixture. Again, we're in the ranking quarterfinals. It'll be Ukraine against Lithuania. Ukraine finishing 4th in Pool C and Lithuania 4th in Pool B. After Hamburg, Lithuania sitting in 11th place. That's a relegation zone. So if they can get a win here, they may be able to work the way out of that relegation zone this weekend. All to play for here. Ukraine sitting in 10th place after Hamburg, so a precarious position for them as well. They'll need to at least equal that result this weekend to avoid the dreaded relegation into the trophy series for next season. Very even looking fixture, Andy. Do you have a favourite going into this?
No real favourite in this one. It's a tough one. I do feel that Lithuania have a slight advantage on this one, some of the play that they've been coming up with. However, we've been talked about the Davidoff brothers for Ukraine. They're two of our favourite guys in there, so it'll be great to see if they can get some points on the board here nice and early. But I would suspect that Lithuania have just got a little bit too much for them.
So you do have a favourite?
I should have said yes, shouldn't I?
There's always an option. Anyway, back to the action. Let's focus in on the rugby here. Lithuania against Ukraine. And Lithuania in possession now, attacking from deep in their own half, from within their own 22. And meeting a brick wall in the Ukrainian defence, who power over with the counter ruck and snapping the ball up and scoring early doors in this fixture.
Well, I might have to take back what I said there. Maybe Ukraine have got a little bit more in them, although it is early days, but that was a great power over there from Ukraine to score in the corner. Good for Lithuania to keep them out of there. However, nice way for them to start, putting the pressure onto Lithuania and getting that score in the corner. 5-0 conversion to come.
That conversion just scuffed slightly, but the 5 points do stand, so Ukraine have a lead as we go to the interview pitch side.
Adam, hat-trick there. Very important match. Qualified for European Games now. You're safe in the championship. What does that mean to you?
It's mean absolutely everything, to be honest. Because we got a pretty tough tournament, also in Hamburg, and this means so much to us. And on the high wave, it's so good for us. Unfortunately, it was a tough game, but luckily we came on top and we can play next year the European Games and Champions as well. Thank you.
You've got a very young squad, so you're building. It's really good for you to be in the championship. I'm looking forward to seeing you next year. Go and recover one last time, and then tomorrow one more match, and then a night out and split, or what?
We'll see. We got the fly back at Monday, so probably some fun in the city at night. So we'll see.
Well done. I'll see you there.
Thank you.
Have a good one, my friend.
Have a good one as well.
Ciao.
Back to the action here, and Ukraine hammering on the door from Lithuania once more. I thought they were going to get over through the big man, Vivkarik, but he was just stopped short. This time on his second try, he does get the ball down on a second attempt. I mean, it's the first try for him. Extending Ukraine's lead to 10 points.
Yeah, he's a big boy. You wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alleyway, would you? That was great powering over there. It's short range, but it's effective. We've seen them in games before. In the tight, they're really good. They do have some speed out wide. However, their accuracy of pass hasn't been the best in this tournament. But that doesn't mean we won't see them moving the ball out there. But for the moment, keeping it tight and just driving over has definitely earned them some points on this occasion, taking the score up to 12 points to 0 for Ukraine.
Lithuania taking that kick-off well. Maybe they can find a way back into this fixture before Ukraine build any more points. And they attack well down the right-hand side, releasing and picking again, showing good awareness. But once more, it's a counter-ruck for Ukraine that worked very well for them, and they've got try number 3 in the blink of an eye. That didn't take much, and it's Overchuk who scores for Ukraine. So we've seen 3 tries, 3 different try scorers, and we've just had under 4 minutes of play. I didn't quite see this being so one-sided, but tactically excellent start from Ukraine, targeting the right areas, Andy.
As you just said, Ian, exactly that. I think tactically they've got it right at the moment. They're definitely focused. They want to get out of this bottom 2 position, bottom 3 position, where they found them. I think they were in 10th position in Hamburg. They want to be up another few points in there to make sure that they stay in this fight for the championship. And Lithuania need to do the same as well, so we need to see them get back into the action sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it only takes a second to score. It only takes one break and one good sprint. But you can't let the gap grow too big. We are 2 minutes out from the break, and Philidis just on the scissors play, and they open it up to the left-hand side. Taljanskus with a show and go, a couple of fens in there, and taking on the big physical Fomiuk. Philidis once more with great pace. That's a lovely pass out, but it's just drifted forward. The idea was good, but that just leaving his hands forward, that no argument to say that was my momentum, sir.
Yeah, it was right in line with our eyes here from the commentary box. It was a lovely pass, lovely, but unfortunately a little bit forward. But those are the passes that I'm expecting to see from Lithuania. Those are the ones that, when they come off, fantastic. They're running onto the ball. They're showing the pace and the passion that they have. But on this occasion, just left his hands a little bit forward, and then the ball floated forward, and the right decision given by the referees there. So it will be scrum time to the Ukraine after we see some running repairs just going on with the big number 1, Fomiuk. He's back into the fray again. He'll be ready to push this scrum over himself.
Ukraine off the back of the scrum with Davidov. Oh, but ripped well by Philidis. And that puts Lithuania onto the counter, and they have a slight advantage as Ukraine are disorganised after being in attack. But once more the counter ruck comes in, so a great reaction from Ukraine. They're really targeting these breakdowns, and it's the counter ruck specifically. They're not going for jackals, Andy.
Absolutely, they're just countering there, just sheer power, which is, they've got that in abundance, don't they? That was a lovely little counter ruck, and it came in with a second player as well, dislodging the ball, picked up by Adadznik. However, he couldn't get that offload away, and he just knocked it on the ground to give the ball back to Lithuania in a good attacking position as they move it towards us on the left hand side into the 15 channel. There's the pace that they've got. Lovely little pick up there, still in that 15 metre channel. Good support play as they move it wide once more.
Yeah, there's a good build up now from Lithuania, having to feed off some scraps in this fixture, but just finding a way into it now as the hooter sounds. Ooh, I didn't catch what happened there. Let's see if we get a replay. Did you catch that, Andy? We're seeing a yellow card.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened. I was following the ball. Must have just been before that. But the break there from our bonus, he went through. I'm guessing that there was either a player in the way or... let's just wait and see what happens. All we know, he's got 2 minutes on the naughty chair. And we'll be seeing him in the second half, because this is the end of the first half. Man up. Looks like they're going to go in for a score. And they do, through the number 5, Krasauskas, that we talked about in the last game. He started in that playmaker position instead of Prylaitis. They've got them both playing together on the same field, and that's probably the reason why.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? I mean, they had the numerical advantage, and they just used it to their advantage. I said earlier I didn't expect them to be feeding off scraps, but that's what they've had to do. Oh, and striking the upright from the most difficult of angles, Prylaitis with a very good kick, but it won't count for anything, unfortunately. Lithuania with 5 points, Ukraine with 19 as we go into half-time. Now, Andy, what I kind of expected was for it to be an even game, but with Lithuania controlling the possession a bit more. This tactic of Ukraine to counter ruck really seems to be the game changer for me.
Yeah, they're coming in, as we said, they're strong. They're trying to dislodge that ball a lot of the time, and they're giving no time for Lithuania to get any control of the ball. They're going to have to play it quicker, and Lithuania can play a quick game. When they get the ball in hand, they can play quickly, they can get quick rucks. However, when they're forced into it, it's altogether a different situation. So let's see how they handle this in the second half, and see if the same tactic comes from Ukraine. Maybe they'll change around just to keep it lively. However, from a Ukraine point of view, they need that ball, they need to be moving it. As we said, lovely wide passes. They run onto that ball at pace. They had that one unfortunate one where it just drifted forwards from Priladis, I think it was, that made the pass. However, there were another 10 passes before that were excellent. So I'm looking forward to the second half. It's realistically 2 scores, 2 converted tries in it. It's not the end of the world for Lithuania. They can come back from that quite the thing. And Ukraine certainly have the ability to score again if they get some ball in hand.
Yeah, we're just about to get underway here. Players all in position. The countdown is complete, and the referee gets us underway. Lovely high kick, as we know. Taljanskas gets underneath that, but Ukraine do come up with the ball and they find a gap, or a half gap at least. High tackle as the defence gets stretched there. And so Ukraine with the opportunity now to control possession if they want. And they go for territory as well, so they'll come away with a line out on just beyond the 10 metres line of the Lithuanians.
Yeah, we've got to remember they're at 6 men at the moment as well, so kicking there just to try and run down the clock for an extra 35 seconds. Not a bad idea. I suspect we'll see them catch this, hold on to it for a couple of seconds, and then try and crash it up a little bit.
Oh, and good line-out play from Ukraine. Oh, that looked to be another high tackle. It is indeed. Now they'll need to watch out that they don't get a yellow card of their own. And as I say that, the referee does reach to his pocket. So we now have 6 against 6, and Ukraine will have a player returning very soon. That was Krasauskas. Sorry, I'll try again. Krasauskas, who leaves the field after the high tackle.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there, but it was a high tackle. And Krasauskas, as we said before, is a great little player. However, on this occasion, just getting his positioning incorrect as we see the spare man come back on for Ukraine to take them back up to 7. Just as Lithuania go down to 6. This is not a great position for Lithuania to be in. Great for Ukraine, though.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Andy. And look at Yevhen Davidov making a nuisance of himself again, darting for the corner, and he's gone all the way from the base of that scrum. What a try. And Ukraine just extending their lead and tightening their grip. They are heading towards a ranking semi-final.
Yeah, that was great work from Davidov there. A fantastic run. Never ever looked like he was going to pass it. He saw the corner flag and said, I'm heading towards there. You come and get me, Urbonas, but didn't have the pace to get there and tackle him beforehand. And the big number 7 went over in the corner for Ukraine for a lovely 5-pointer. With the 2 points not quite making it, just drifting off to the left side of the post.
He got a lovely strike on the ball, didn't he, Andy? Weren't you crowned Scotland's best kicker once?
I don't like to talk about that too much, Ian, but absolutely yes, beating the 2 Scotland kickers of the time. But let's not go into that. I don't want to have 2 players like Gary Parker, legend that he was, and some other guy that played for Scotland as well, played number 10.
So Ukraine really in pole position to see this off here. There's a few minutes left to be played. It's just over 4. And Ukraine able to suck in the air here and they'll have a scrum in a good position just outside the 22.
Yeah, they're showing some good nous here and just controlling the game, slowing it down, knowing that they're 19 points up at the moment. They've got the extra man. They can let the clock run down. It doesn't matter if another man comes back on, which he will in the next 20 seconds. They're just going to hold on to that ball, move it into the channels where they need to move it to, and just control this game as much as they can with their powerful runners there. Exactly that. I think that was Shashiro, was it? As we see them go back to the far side once more.
Yeah, they're really powerful runners, aren't they? Look at the momentum they have, and it's your man Davidov once more. Yevhen Davidov. He's just wreaking havoc out there at the moment. There's so much space for him to exploit with the Lithuanians down to 6 players.
Yeah, that's their sin bin coming back on again, and they're also making a change. But that was great play by Davidov there, as I think I mentioned earlier in commentary. He's my favourite Davidov. So I got that one right, so that's quite good of me. Well done, even though I didn't get the correct team that's going to win this game. With a lovely conversion this time from the 15-metre channel. Great play to take the score up to 33, is it? The scoreboard saying 31. We'll see if that changes.
Your mind is just a little bit faster than the board operators here, Andy, but that's no surprise. And Ukraine with a lovely kick that's so well judged by the Lithuanians. Not an easy skill with a lifting pod like that moving backwards, but they've done it well and they have possession now. Lovely little step by Prelaidas, and another one. He's enjoying himself. Gets a little out the back door pass and grubbering through. Going all the way here maybe, just dancing in front of the line. There's 3 Ukrainians worked hard to get back there and hold him up. That's an incredible effort off the ball. On juggling and knocking on. Ukraine will have the scrum.
Yeah, that was great defence from Ukraine. They're working hard to get back, and it was Grigolatis that got the ball in a lovely kick through from the sin bin player. Krasauskas, a great idea to pop it through. There's a nasty bounce at the end for Ukraine. Grigolatis got the ball in his hand and then just danced around, couldn't quite get the ball. Touchdown. It was great defence by Ukraine to hold him up and have a scrum 5.
Yeah, scrum 5 for Ukraine, and they're under pressure still, but looking to clear their lines, and they just keep it tight and make the hard yards. Now they do move it a little bit more and put boot to ball. A long one down the middle, and we've got a good chase coming on. Taken by Ukraine, and they're charging. They've got the offload in well. Fantastic stuff, and Ukraine going from strength to strength. David Zazimko with the try.
That was an amazing piece of play, wasn't it? The big kick downfield, the chase by 2 players, not just one, the hunt back from the defence, the nasty bounce, and then the little tap back into the hands of the number 16 who'd just come on, Zazinko. Lovely score for Ukraine. That seals the game for them.
Yeah, I'm impressed by their tactical maturity in that situation. They've got a scrum 5 metres out from their line. They just go through these phases, playing, making the hard yards, put boot to ball. The sequence of events just seem to be tactically smart, Andy. Would you agree with me?
I would agree. I think that they've learned from their previous games. They've deployed some different tactics. Maybe they've looked at what's been going on. Maybe they've been watching Lithuania to see what style they play. And then they've come out and executed, and they're very happy with that. That should keep them safe in the championship for another year. We just need to do a little bit of maths to double check where everybody is, but I think unfortunately that will mean Lithuania and Poland will be the teams to go down, but we'll double check that before we confirm it. But great play from Ukraine anyway on this occasion here in Split. They've done really well to get that win on the board. Well deserved. As we look forward to our next game, which is one of the quarterfinals, Georgia against France.
Yeah, that'll be the cup competition, but just with the focus still on these ranking games, you're absolutely right, Andy, because Lithuania finished 11th in Hamburg, and they don't have the opportunity to finish any higher than 11th here this weekend now with that loss. So very unfortunate for them. I've really enjoyed watching them over the past years. They're athletically very good team with technical skills that they've developed, maybe just a little bit of tactical improvement required, but they'll work on that, and I'm sure we'll see them back in the championship before long. So commiserations to Lithuania, but congratulations to Ukraine. They could top their 10th place from Hamburg with a possible 9th this weekend. High fives all round. They applaud the fans, and they look happy but not content. They have more work to do. And moving swiftly on, as Andy just said, we have a delight of a quarter-final for you now. Georgia topping their Group B, and France in the same pool. They qualify for the cup competition as one of the best third-place teams. That's a bit of a surprise after they finished second in Hamburg, so they're not having all their own way here in Split. Georgia winning 3 from 3 until now, which they also did in Hamburg, but then ended up finishing 8th. So really those group results don't tell this whole story here. Anything can still happen, and who knows, maybe France can go on to win the tournament still. They managed to survive the groups, and they're in the cup quarter-final. And the winner of this game, just to put some context on it for you all back home, will play then the winner of GB against Spain. That'll be the last game of the day. All quality opponents now. There are no easy routes to the final. This is European Championship Cup Rugby. And Georgia prepare to take the kickoff from right to left, and we're underway. Le Flamand rising beautifully to take that ball in an overhead catch. It's a difficult skill to master, and he's certainly done so. And a snap back here from France, trying to move the ball on with quick hands. Just being knocked on in the tackle from Georgia. So it is a scrum advantage. That will probably be over by now, because it's 2 phases already. In sevens rugby, a knock-on advantage doesn't last long. And France maintaining possession well, moving out to their own 22. Le Flamand distributing. And attacking the left-hand side for the first time in this game. Good speed in the attack, and Le Flamand once more playing this link man role in the middle of the field. Paris on the scissors play. They managed to find an opportunity here. Le Flamand once more, swerving round the approaching defender and giving it outside him to the oncoming support players. They're up all the way from their own 22, deep into the Georgian 22 now. And France with a dominant start to this game, moving the ball freely. The full pitch now in shade, so it's really great conditions for them to throw the ball around and have some fun. Good defence from Georgia. They are being forced backwards here, but they're staying connected and staying organised. Le Flamand once more. And looking for an opportunity through the middle, maybe. They do find a gap there, but... Oh! There's a penalty and a yellow card for a tackle without the ball. I think that was Paris just being taken as he approached the... looking for the offload.
Yeah, I think it's a penalty try as well, Ian, isn't it? That yellow card, double trouble there. He's off for 2 minutes, taking a little rest. Just took the pop was going to come to his hand, I think. He just played him off the ball. So penalty try, 7 points to France. But what lovely free-flowing rugby they're playing there, isn't it? It's moving the ball side to side, long passes, ball out in front, handling exquisite, support players there all the time. This is more like the France that we've seen in previous matches and previous tournaments.
Yeah, exquisite passing indeed, exquisite ball skills. It just looked like there was almost not a single error in those many phases where as they played from their own 22 up to the Georgians. And the penalty try, like you said, absolutely the right decision. If you take the tackler out of the equation, then that is a certain try. Pares to get us back underway. He's the man that would have scored. Oh, and another good overhead catch from Georgia. They beat one tackler, dragged down by the second, but making good progress up the park. Out wide. Leflemont showing what he can do in defence now, and they counter-ruck. This is the real feature of the French defensive system. They make those decisions so well. Leflemont taps and goes. Pares now moving the ball out wide. And this looks like it could well be the second try if they can just recycle once more. They do. Pares now. Leflemont. And Leflemont, one of my favourite players in this team. I just think he's a big physical man with the skill set of a real playmaker. And he dots down for France's second.
Yeah, Merlin, the magician, as he was called earlier on there, Leflemont, just getting in the right positions. But again, the beautiful passes and the link play from the French team is just something to behold at the moment. They're flying onto ball and they're putting the passes out in front of all their receivers, which is great to see. However, Georgia, they had a lovely little break up the middle there earlier. But the counter-attack, as you say, and then the power of Leflemont just to get in there and disrupt that Georgian ruck was excellent, and then the ball got moved away. So well played to them. Conversion was good. 14-0 to France. 4 minutes gone.
Paris getting us underway again. A cheeky little shorter kick as the Georgians were all lined up with a bit more depth. That was smart from the experienced man. And we're off again on the wing. Leflemont linking up well there and playing in. Wasserman, and Wasserman gets try number 3 for France. And after really struggling through the group stages, this looks to be a totally different France now that we're in the group. Now that we're in the knockout rugby, Andy.
Absolutely, we were in Hamburg. We were waxing lyrical about them. They were really playing well, as were Germany. It was a worthy final, but on this occasion, they've started to play in the quarterfinals and started to show what they can do against what is not a bad Georgian team, that's for sure, but they are just, all their passes are sticking, their positioning is good, and that try there by Johann Wasserman was fantastic. Just a simple 2-on-1, but they made it look easy, and once again, Magic Merlin the magician was involved, but what a great kickoff from Pares it was as well to put it into the right position, and on this occasion, not quite such a good kick, and Georgia get the opportunity to show what they can do with their quota back to 7 again.
Yeah, and they obviously struggled with 6 players on the pitch, but if they can get a score, in the next phases, then they're right back in it. You'd think they would need to score before half time.
Yeah, that'll be Kera Karaba who came on. Is he going to get a yellow card on this one? Just a penalty? Okay. Just a penalty. Oh no, it's Leflemont. That's good. I thought it was Kera Karaba that had lifted the man and taken him off the ball, but referee saw something different. My apologies. But that puts France down to 6 men. This will be interesting to see how they cope with a 6-man team against the powerful 7 Georgians.
Okay, time on.
Yeah, powerful is absolutely the right word to describe them. Georgia now with possession from the scrum. Okay. So a little bit of a stop and start situation all of a sudden.
Yeah, scrum time here. French ball. It's just a couple of moments there. We weren't sure what was going on. Apologies, some technical errors there. But we're back on track again as we see the 6-man French team feeding the scrum. 1 man each side of the scrum with a decision to know where they're going, and they decide to come down the right with the try scorer, Wasserman. Oh, he bounces off 2 players and he goes in the corner. Well played, Johan Wasserman. The lovely pass from the classic player that is Pares. Well played, 6-man France.
Yeah, and really disappointing though for Georgia, isn't it? They topped their group in Hamburg, ended up in 8th overall. They topped their group here in Split, and it looks like they're going to bomb out of the cup competition here again at the hands of a reinvigorated French team. The hooter does sound, so with that kick attempt, with that conversion attempt, sliding past, we do go into the half time. Andy, what are your thoughts on that first half of rugby?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest there. France were amazing. Some great play, both in defence and attack. I'm not sure I would quite use the phrase bomb out here because they've played some good rugby, but they're just being overpowered by what is an amazing French outfit that are really coming into their own, and this can only be good for them as they go forward. I can't see them losing this game, so I would suspect they go into the semi-finals on a high, knowing what they can do. I'm sure they'll do some video analysis, and all they need to do is show this game and say, this is how we need to play against whatever opposition we're up against. Cut out the silly little mistakes such as the yellow card. We're almost getting a perfect performance. So for Georgia though, Georgia just need to get some ball in hand. When we have seen the 2, maybe 3 attacks that they've had, they've got go forward. However, those little mistakes at the end forced a little bit by France. So it's not all bad news for Georgia because they are coming against a strong defence, but if they want to be in the top 4, then they need to be finding a way to combat that defence. But exciting game, that's for sure, Ian.
Yeah, exciting, you said it. And just something else I want to touch on, Andy. And we spoke about the age of the French women, and we see a similar pattern in the French men's team for this competition. They have Stephen Pares, who obviously is in his 30s, 31 years old. But other than Nathan Gagnac, they're all, the oldest player is 23. They've got a couple of 19-year-olds in there, a handful of 20-year-olds, and a load of 21-year-olds as well. Now that is the kind of age in which your fast twitch muscle fibres are probably at best, isn't it? Is that something that gives them an advantage, even maybe?
I would agree with what you're saying. Absolutely, the fast twitch fibres. We're getting a little bit technical here, but these are players that have been around the squad for some time. They've grown up through sevens tournaments, through regional tournaments, through club tournaments, and then they come into the national setup. So they're well akin to what's expected of them. However, the youth of them means that they don't have as much experience at this higher level, but they do have experience of playing sevens, and it's great to see the youthful exuberance of them, trying things but getting them right, and that's the most important thing. I think we talked about the French women and saying they need to try things, and that's how they're going to learn. But for these men, they've maybe got just a little bit more experience than the women's team as we see the second half kicking off, and we'll find out if that youthful exuberance can carry on into the second half.
We will indeed, and Georgia deal with that well, and they take the kick off and look to mount an attack from deep and in the wide channels, showing pace of their own. But it's a penalty to France. That was a good jackal attempt. Moving the ball back towards the centre of the park. Pares picks up, looks to the right. Georgia aggressive in defence, aggressive in the counter ruck, and Pares is dragged at the back of the breakdown before France do recycle. Still down to 6 men, but that won't hold them back. They're charging in for another try through Kera Karaba. Under the sticks as well, so the conversion shouldn't be an issue. That just extends the lead to 31 points after a minute of second half action.
Yeah, good patience shown by France there, just getting the turnover from the Georgian attack. And then the big fella there, the number 1 Joe Karakaraba, just going under the sticks for another converted try. Just once again showing the pace, but also showing a little bit of experience there and the patience to wait for the moment to pounce on the Georgian attack and get that turnover. So France score 33 points to 0 up.
Yeah, France in full control of this, the first cup quarter final. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That kick miscued, and Georgia with possession in the middle of the park. They tap and they go, looking to finally break the zero on the scoreboard and get some points of their own. The organisation of the French defence looks unfazed by these carries. A nice fend in there though from Georgia, and it's a half break, but the offload is inaccurate and Perez comes away with the ball. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time. France once more then transitioning into attack.
Yeah, that was a really good positioning from Perez there to be in the way for that Georgian attack as they let loose down with Karakaraba once more down the outside, just getting it into those channels, cruising in for another score, just toying with the Georgian defence there as he dives to let the clock run down a little bit for another dot down to take it up to 38-0 to France, and I suspect the 2 points will go over for the conversion, which will be taken by Mondena.
So really important information for anyone with tickets here for tomorrow for day 3. I mentioned before the change in the schedule because of a weather warning here. There's thunderstorms scheduled for the evening, or forecast rather for the evening. So the ranking finals will start at 2:30 p.m. That's local time, rather than 4 p.m. So it's 1.5 hours earlier, and the finals will run from 6 p.m. instead of 7:30. So make sure if you've got tickets, you do get down here on time. We're trying to speed things up on day 3 to avoid those thunderstorms that could just get a little bit too heavy for the event.
Same as down there, timing only. Drop.
Yeah, a good bit of information there just to keep everyone updated with when the rugby's been played, so you can get down here and watch the final day's actions, because there's going to be some great games to watch as we go back to watch this great French team once more attacking through Bosmoran, back on the inside, speed to the breakdown and get the ball away into the outside channels. Lovely little bit of passing and interlinking play, bringing it back to the other 15-metre channel once again, showing their power and their pace, and that's one big unit there, isn't it? And Gabriel Bon just showing his power there. France now just slowing it down a little bit. They know they've won this game. There's no need for them to rush anything, as we see a couple of changes coming in just to give some players some rest. Be interesting to see. It looks like they're going to do a little tapping set play coming from the training ground, maybe practice for later in the tournament, as Perez gets his hand and foot near the ball, ready to go.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lull around the stadium here. I think the fans would like to see close quarterfinals, but as it is, we can watch France in awe, the way they're throwing the ball around here. Experts of sevens rugby, doing what they do best. I think that's Bosmarin with a little overpass, finding the space on the outside. Mignot with the try. And things going from bad to worse here for Georgia. We only have 1 minute and 20 seconds left of this fixture.
Yeah, just patient build up there, wasn't it, from France once again, as we saw the jinky play of Bosmoran, who just took a little bit of a hit to a certain area of his body that we don't really want to talk about, but put the pass in there. Nice little floated pass over the top to Charlie Mignot to go in for the converted try, and it's 47-0 to France with 45 seconds to go.
Paris with the kick again, nice little short one. Lift them on with a tap back. It does go forward though, as Kere Karaba tries to regather. 30 seconds left on the clock. Georgian scrum. They would love to end it with some points, even if there's no way back. A matter of pride for these young men.
As you said, the crowd want to see that. They don't want to see quarterfinals where it's a 47-0 game. However, this is going to be a difficult defence to break down for Georgia. French have been playing very, very well, both in attack and in defence. But they're jinking around a little bit, just trying to eke out a little space that they can then go through. As we see a great clear out there coming in, and they move the ball back to this near side where we are, into the outside channels. A lovely play. Was it a forward pass? I don't think it's been given, so that's great work there. That was a lovely little offload from the number 22, Kuroshvili, giving it into the hands of Archvadze for a score under the post. A well-deserved 5-pointer for Georgia.
Yeah, and obviously it'll be disappointing with the scoreline here, but to end the game on a high with a try is always a good feeling. It's a little consolation, I think, and they do look quite dejected, understandably. I mentioned it before, they topped the group in Hamburg, finished 8th, topped the group again here, and now they also can't finish any higher than 5th as they fall out of the cup competition. But looking forward, Andy, hopefully a bit of a tighter game. We have another quarter-final in the cup, and it's featuring Germany and Italy, if I'm not mistaken. Germany first in Hamburg, Italy third. Germany, however, this weekend, struggling in the group stages a little bit. They got a draw against Great Britain, which cost them, and then they had a loss. So they got third in the Pool A on the way to the Cup quarter-finals. But as I mentioned before, the last one, France also finished third in their group, and it means absolutely nothing how you get into knockout rugby. It matters what you do when you get there.
Absolutely, as you say, it matters what you do when you get to these positions and how you cope with the pressure of knockout rugby. The group stages are now done. You've managed to get yourself into the position where you can progress forward or you step out of the competition. And both these teams, Italy and Germany, as you said, playing some good rugby. We would normally be a bit biased towards Germany, but I feel that the Italians have played the better rugby so far. However, as we've just said, it's plain and simple, we're in quarter-final stages. It's all about how the knock-up rugby works, and I'm really looking forward to this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch Italy over the last couple of tournaments. They've got some really exciting men in that team, and none less than captain Michael Mba, who's been really aggressive in defence and making good decisions with ball in hand. A powerful runner and showing a lot of passion out there. Here we see the German squad as well, coached by Pablo Fallo, ex-Spanish international. He's played World Cups, he's played 7 series. I believe he was the captain at the time that they qualified for the 7 series. So both squads in good hands.
Yeah, let's just make sure that the players can perform the way that their coaches did and show us a good level of rugby and give a good match for this crowd to get excited about. The Germans definitely want to show the women's team that they are just as good and they can make the semi-finals. But this Italian squad, as we said, very strong. Good bit of power in there. And they'll be looking to show what they can do. Unfortunately, they got an injury on day one to Francesco Cruzzo, so he's out. But they still got other players there that can make a difference.
Absolutely. Both teams are stacked with quality. And we see Germany going for the counter ruck, but Gleitz it was with his hands on the ground first, so preventing the fair contest in the eyes of the law. So Italy do have the penalty and the opportunity to tap and attack in the 22 of Germany.
Yeah, interesting move from Italy. It's not really a move as such, was it? It was just give it to someone and see what they do. So no training ground move there. However, it seems to have come off for them as they go in under the posts for a lovely score. And don't listen to what I'm saying. Absolute rubbish there. It was definitely a planned move that they had in the pocket there from the training ground.
It is not rubbish at all. I absolutely love that analysis. See what they do, and if that's what they do, then it's worth watching, Andy. 5 points for Italy in the first 1.5 minutes of this game, and they extend their lead to 7 points. There we see the try. It just opened up for him. Ume looking slightly ejected, but Germany will have their opportunities. I am sure of that. Italy getting us back underway. A high kick down the middle. Hufnagel rises well and claims the ball for his side before Gleitz is unceremoniously dumped on his back. File distributing nicely to Hufnagel, the man who caught the kickoff, the man who was player of the tournament in Hamburg, but he's stripped of the ball here on this occasion. And Ba, the captain of Italy, distributing the ball well. A good read by Amakuedi and Ellerman working together in unison to turn that one over. And Ellerman's off to the races straight away, not holding back. He's got Amakuedi, the speed merchant, outside him. He steps inside. Oh, and Italy have worked so hard to get back there and cut out that attack. It looked to be a certain try. Ume, Amakuedi, Eichholz. Attempted jackal from Italy is just not quite accurate enough, and Amakuedi plays the scissors with Ume, who goes past one tackle, tapped by the defender and tripped over the line, but nothing that will prevent him from scoring.
Yeah, well played Germany there. Chris Ume going over for the score there, but great presence of mind by Ellerman to get that ball and tap and go quickly. He's into this game early. I think this is the first game he started, and he's definitely wanting to make an impact there, and he did, as he got the ball out to the right, the left-hand side, and then it came back to the right. Amakuedi just making a couple of little breaks there, eventually finding a gap for Ume to power his way through, and he's a big unit, hard to stop, even though there was a tap tackle at the end. 7-7, 3 minutes and 43 seconds gone.
Yeah, and it'll be Eichholz to kick off once more. It's a 3-3 split for Germany from the kick-off. And that ball hitting slightly off the outside of his foot there, so it wasn't as contestable as he'd have wanted it to be, but it's a good chase from Ume and Ellerman, who just tried to choke the defending player, keeping him in the air. And Ba. Looks like Bazzoni. He's had a good tournament so far. And Italy tap and go. Support is on hand, changing the angle of attack well. Mba almost breaking the tackle, but he's dragged down by File. Oh, and ghosting through the gap with a little show and go. It is the Italian Chiardulo Oro who scorched towards the line, getting the offload away in the last minute to Christian Lai. So Italy combining well for that score. Andy, what an exciting start to the game. Italy scoring, Germany, now Italy again.
Yeah, Chiardulo Oro just going through that gap, just a little show and go again. I think he sold a half dummy there to Hufnagel. Didn't quite have the pace to go the whole way. It's a great chase back by Germany, but as he got tackled, Christian Lai was on hand to receive the little pass back. under the posts there, and the conversion is good to take Italy 14 points to 7 up in this quarter-final.
Isn't it good to see end-to-end rugby in the cup quarter-final, Andy? Not like in the last game where everything was a little bit one-sided. We've got a real cracker on our hands here, and Italy get us back underway with a long kick-off this time. Caught by Amaqueri deep in his own 22. He tries a little bit of a pirouette to trick his opponent, but Italy are awake to that. Eichholz attacking the outside shoulders, wrapped up by Bazzoni. And Mba getting over that ball very well. Penalty for Italy. Mba turning defence into attack. Give it to him and see what he might do, Andy. Mba once more connecting with the number 7, Inzadini. Oh, it's just fumbled in the collision. The point of contact, and that'll give Germany the opportunity to get some possession and clear their lines.
Yeah, better defence by Germany that time. They scrambled well. We saw earlier on Amaquedi just flew up in a tackle there and didn't make it, which put his team under pressure. On this occasion, the players looked like they were going to fly up, but they just held their own, just held a wall. So Italy had to find a way around it rather than there's a gap there to go through. And on this occasion, Germany forced them into a small mistake on the ground where they knocked it on, and Eichholz gets the put in at the scrum here, the opportunity to clear their lines and get out from their own 22.
Yeah, we hear the klaxon there, so that's the end of the first half. As soon as the next break in play does arise, Germany might be quite keen to get another score. And Ellermann beats one, collides with another. That was a ferocious hit. Hufnagel under close attention from Christian Lai as well. So Italy earning themselves another penalty and the opportunity to extend the lead before half-time.
That's powerful defence there from Italy. Look at it as we see the replay. Ellermann gets absolutely smashed here. Ends up on the ground, but good support play coming in to secure the ball. However, on the far side there, Italy were just smashing players for fun on that occasion and managed to get the turnover. Italy decided to go for the scrum. No overload on one side on this occasion. It's one player down the left and two on the big open side, with that fast player Christian Lai on the wing here with a scrum cap on.
Yeah, I quite like that setup. It's dangerous, isn't it? But Germany with a huge scrum, not driving straight though. So it will be another penalty to Italy. Will they scrummage again? No, changing tactics. They're mixing it up. They're going for the line out. I thought they might just keep the pressure on Germany there and repeat the same decision.
I would agree. I thought they might do the same again just to see if they can eke out another penalty, which would be a yellow card. But on this occasion, we're about to see what the line out options they have are and see if they can catch and then drive it over.
Oh, it's a lovely line out, isn't it? Gone very well. Maybe just the way he put the ball down from the air, not quite accurate enough, but Italy with the chance. They look so up for this quarter-final. And that's great work from Germany to hold him up there. But they may have just overcommitted slightly. Christian Lai rises, catches the ball. Amaquedi once more trying to hold him up all on his own. But Lai breaks free. Oh, and that's a disaster for Germany. After they had possession, after the klaxon had sounded, they could have gotten the ball off the pitch and gone into the half-time at 14-7. But now it looks like it'll be 21-7 if this conversion is successful.
Yeah, that was some option there from Italy to put the kick in, to go wide. We did see he's a danger man lie out there. Good work from Amaquedi to get onto him, but unfortunately tried to throw him to the ground WWE style and just let him go. And Lai had the power to stay on his feet and then drive his legs to get over that line to take Italy into a lead at half-time, 21-7.
Yeah, now Germany seem to have had a bit of a drop-off from the highs of Hamburg? Andy, is it just because they're playing away from home, or is there something else going on there in the way they're playing this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in this game they're coming up against a very strong Italian team, and Italy are putting them under pressure. As far as what's going on with the way that they're playing, I mean, we've obviously have a couple of changes of players within the squad, but at the same time they're all experienced. It's not as if they've suddenly put in a lot of youngsters into the team. It's experienced players. They're just not quite gelling the way they want to, and as you talked about in the other games, it was very much a case of experience is good in the group stages. You don't have to play your best rugby, you have to save it for the quarterfinals, and Italy are definitely playing better, but Germany haven't quite fired yet, so we need them to fire if we want them to go through. It's only 2 tries. That was a long half again. It was a 10-minute half. Their fitness is good, however the Italians' fitness is just as good, I believe, so all to play for in this second half. We're about to get it underway through Felix Hofnagel, whose kicks have been very good up to this point. Let's hope we don't jinx him on this occasion and he can put a big one underneath. For it's usually Ellerman that goes and chases these. He's got a great jump on him and ability to tap it back. However, the Italians have got a bit of height in them as well, so ready to play the second half with Hofnagel on the kickoff.
Yeah, good kick-off from Hofnagel. He's got a great boot. We know all about that. Italy struggling to gain possession from that kick-off. And Germany with a great opportunity to start the second half as they'd want with points. Gleitzer. Oh, and they move the ball wide. Ellerman just holds it up a wee bit before taking on the Italian defence in a typically physical manner. Gleitzer. Oh, and their pockets are picked. Italy are off. He'll be isolated if he gets tackled. He is tackled. And there's a knock-on to advantage to Germany. That advantage is already over as they have territorial gain through Bennett File. He's streaking away, targeting the corner, and he's now coming slightly in field. And Bennett File reduces the deficit. It's 21 points to 12.
Germany strike back from number 2, Bennett File.
Yeah, really good play there by Germany to get that turnover there, chase the Italian back. As you said, he was isolated. There was 2 or 3 German players there. I think if they hadn't got the turnover, it could quite possibly have been a yellow card, as the Italian player played it on the ground quite obviously in front of the referee. But Germany got the advantage, managed to get it into the hands of File, who went right the way down the field from his own 22 metres line for a score, as we see Hofnagel just missing that conversion, which means they'll still have to come up with 2 scores if they want to get back into this game and lead.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. We've got enough time to do it. Germany have also just made 3 changes. We've got Enneke, Koch and Wiese on the park now. So fresh legs with those 3 fit young men. And Italy with possession under immense pressure, however. Slight opportunity just presents itself for Christian Lai. And Germany earning the penalty. Koch plays quickly, playing to the right hand side, looking for Gleitzer. Gleitzer takes it up to the defence, and Enneke just secures that ball well. Koch feinting to go down the right hand side, the blind side, and then he does go to the open side with Gleitzer. Now they're back on the short side. Again, ferocious tackles coming in, but Enneke rides that one well. Hofnagel. Ellerman stepping, hopping and charging as he does best. And Hofnagel evading well. He's beaten one and he just draws and passes. Gleitzer making the yardage. And it's a good line from Koch and a good step as well. He'll cruise over. And Koch, the experienced playmaker, reduces a deficit by a further 5 points.
Yeah, that's better play from Germany. Now again, moving side to side, some lovely little interlinking play. Henry Smeed there, just taking a bit of power up the outside before Koch got his hands on it and just got himself over the try line under the post for Hufnagel to add the 2 points as well. That's much better. This Italian defence, though, they're just constant, aren't they? They're smashing people. They've definitely come out here with a more of a strength feeling about them than previous games. They're really pushing hard and pushing up and trying to control where Germany go in the game, as we see Hufnagel with a lovely kickoff once more.
Yeah, that was a really good width on that kickoff as well. Not just the height on this occasion, but Italy dealing with it well. Christian Lai, he'd just been waving to the bench that he wanted to leave the pitch. I think he was absolutely done, but he's finding more energy. And Italy with the penalty. Christian Lai taps and goes quickly. A little hop and a little skip and a bit of putting on the footwork. Feeding Bazzoni. Bazzoni getting slightly isolated there, but they managed to get the ball back well. And Ndombe Lobe coming under huge pressure from Wiese. So the German defence really rallying to cut out any options for the Italian defenders and just force them backwards again and again. Mba, the captain. And Bazzoni steps and attacks outside shoulder, drawing in the winger and releasing his own. It's Belloni who's made the meters on this occasion, but unfortunately Italy just lose the ball at the contact point. The Italian coaching staff are unimpressed with that.
Yeah, that was great play there from Italy there to get the break on there. And I think we said Belloni going down the outside, but Enneke, great cover tackle, got back to his feet quickly, got his hands in on the ball to produce a turnover for Germany. As we see the speedster Amakwede coming back on for Henry Smeed, I think it is. He's coming off. They'll be looking to move this into his hands. Has he got the pace? Over in Dube, Lobe on the outside. Only time will tell here. Nicky Koch with the put in. Sorry, Ian.
No, sorry, I was interrupting you there, Andy. What do you make of that? Amakwede's lined up in the centres. Normally we see him in a wider position. What have Germany got up their sleeves here?
That's a good question. I don't think they're expecting to score first phase, are they? Although they're taking them to the outside, into these outside channels. They really need to get a third player to get there, because Italy, strong defence with the counter ruck, but Hufnagel gets there, gets the ball away into Koch's hands, out to Ellerman, moving it into these channels. Can he get the pass away? Good defence from Italy and good counter ruck once more. Need to start again with Enneke as he moves it into the midfield. Oh, good take by Italy there. They're lucky. Put his one hand out, received the ball, got the turnover. This could be the end of the game for Germany, I feel.
I fear you may be right, but they only need a turnover. If they can get their hands on the ball, then they only need one score. I actually thought that looked like a very promising attack. The speed and intent with which Amakwede ran first of all, then Ellerman, and they had the big man Wiese looking to get his hands on the ball. I thought that the intent just looked a lot better, but maybe they've just left it too late. Italy with a great decision to go to the line out, and as we watch the clock ticking to the red.
Yeah, that was a great kick from Italy, wasn't it? Making it down to 22. All they need to do is win this line out, and I suspect that it will land down in the hands of the half-back who will kick it straight out of the park. But Germany sneak up there. They've still got one more opportunity here. Keeping the game alive, keeping the ball alive. Amakwede, what's he got? Has he got the speed here? We're about to find out. Little knock on, I think, from his hand, and unfortunately knocked on by Amakwede there. Referee's given it 21-19 to Italy.
Yeah, they actually really liked that option to go for the kick, but it needed to go longer, didn't it? If he'd had 60 metres, then he would have had the pace in his opponent. We know how fast he is, but over 20 metres with the with the 5 metre advantage that the Italian defender had, he was always going to get there first, wasn't he? So it was a good option, but poor execution once more.
Yeah, he's sitting there complaining to the assistant referee there. Let's be honest, it's a poor kick. He's more frustrated at his kick. It may not have come off his hand, it may come off his chest, it may not have come off. It doesn't really matter, but you can't go blaming someone else for what you've done wrong, which unfortunately has happened on this occasion. But let's take nothing away from this Italy team. They were ferocious in defence, a well-deserved game for them, as they'll put them through into the semi-finals with an option to go further.
That was breathtaking. That's the kind of quarter-final we want to see. Two teams battling it out, going all the way down to the wire and the last play of the game. So more of that maybe as Belgium and Portugal take to the field. Portugal in 5th position in the series after Hamburg. Belgium, whose squad we see now on screen, sitting in 4th in the total table and reaching the quarterfinals of the cup competition after finishing 2nd in their group. Portugal also 2nd in theirs, so nothing to separate these teams really. They had an epic quarter-final in Hamburg. It got quite heated, the Portuguese being very upset at the behaviour of some of the Belgian players. I'm not sure if that was justified or not, but it was certainly a tight state of affairs, and we see a repeat of that today. Let's just hope there's no bad blood between the two teams. And the first kick from Belgium, who are in their red kit, goes astray, and Portugal in their white kit with green shorts tap and attack from the middle of the park. Now that is a poor error. That's sloppy after you get gifted a free kick, just to throw a forward pass. That'll frustrate the coaches and probably himself even more so.
Ready?
Belgium with possession then, and we go pitch side for the interview.
Congratulations on that one. That was a great game. How do you feel after that?
We are so happy. We have to congrats also for Germany to put so much effort in the game. But the very congratulations for the heart of my teammate. We never give up, and so the result coming. We are a very nice group, and we are all a family. So that's the.
Yeah, we're watching from the commentary box there. The defence was awesome today by Italy. Has that something you've been working on in the last few weeks?
Yes, we worked a lot on the defense, but the Italian passion. Yes, that's it. The defense, the heart, the passion. That's the secret.
Well, congratulations on that win. I look forward to seeing you in the semi-final. All the very best.
Thank you so much.
And back to the action with Belgian possession. Coming from deep. Gaspert Lally a little bit lateral. He'll look to straighten up when he sees a gap, and that's exactly what happens in the middle of the park. He's through. He's not quite as quick as he was in his younger years, but he's more than quick enough. And he scores another try. A serial finisher for this Belgian Sevens team. 32 years of age, so still relatively young. And all that experience just showing as he set off on that lateral run. Scanning, looking for an opportunity, looking for a disconnect in the defence. He straightened up and went all the way under the posts. Belgium with the early lead against Portugal. And the kick finds grass and is gathered in the 22 of Portugal. Twisting and turning and looking for an opportunity, but under a huge pressure from Belgium, so the game couldn't have started much better from their perspective. Marini with a good challenge there as well, a good tackle on the Portuguese attacker. Max Kutz with the scrum half pass, and the physicality here coming in from Portugal. They win a penalty for the high tackle. Oh, and that looks to have hurt the ball carrier. I didn't see who it was that took that shot to the head, but he's down on one knee, and I just wonder if they'll want to have a look at him for a possible concussion. The doctor's with him now, so we may see just a brief break in play. No, he's happy, he's done a quick check, and Portugal with the line out. So a 7-point deficit, but possession, and 3 minutes left to play of the first half. Moving the ball out to the wide left. Portugal running well, moving the ball freely. That was a lovely offload. Their ball skills are just silky smooth. And why did I say that? In that moment, the pass hits the deck. Still in possession though for Portugal. Absolutely no worries at all. They're progressing well up the park, going through the phases. Godsmark applying the pressure, but Portugal just recycle calmly. A little dummy kick, keeping the defenders on their toes. Looking for the offload and does well to hold on to that and not knock it on. Oh, and offside from Belgium. So it's a penalty once more to Portugal.
Offside.
Just outside the Belgian 22.
Yeah, exciting start to this game. This first 5 minutes, isn't it? As I was just down there doing an interview with a very passionate and excited Italian team. They're delighted to get through to the semi-finals there. As we move on, also hearing that Francesco Cruzo, who got injured yesterday, double fracture to his ankle, unfortunately, so he'll not be seen tomorrow or for the next few weeks, I'm sure, but he had a big smile on his face as well as we come back to the action here in this next quarter-final. Portugal against Belgium. Portugal put in. They've split the scrum again. 2 on one side. First receiver just behind the scrum. Slightly right. Got his decision and comes to the left. Moving it out into the outside channels where Hayden Han is waiting for it, but that's a great defensive movement from Belgium.
Yeah, and Belgium in possession again. Gaspard Lally sees the opportunities, used his pace to good effect once already in this game, and looking to do so again. The ball just evades him. Goes straight for the jackal, though unfortunately losing his footing in there and not giving the referee a good picture, so Portugal with the penalty and they come away quickly. Another penalty for Portugal. I just wonder if this could end up being a similar match to the one we saw in the quarterfinals at Hamburg.
Well, I hope so. Taking it all the way. I think there was 9 minutes of extra time or something silly like that. But at the moment, both teams are attacking and defending really well. Once we see another powerful attempt at a clear out. But an infringement there by Belgium means that there's a quick tap and go. Portugal go over the line and into the corner through the number 4, Martin Diaz. Well played, Portugal.
Yeah, fantastic play, wasn't it? It was quite patient in the build-up, and the perseverance has been rewarded. Oh, Murik is doing his sprints again, warming up next to the pitch. That looks dangerous. A man you don't want to see travelling too fast. But there's something I wanted to touch on, Andy, before you jump in again. You just had an interview with the Italians, and they will be the opponents of the winner of this game. So, that could potentially be a repeat of some of the fixtures we've seen as well, with both of these teams playing the Italians in recent competition.
Yeah, that's obviously something that happens in these competitions quite a bit, because these teams do play each other on a number of occasions, and we do end up with the same teams, and on occasion they batter each other in one tournament, so they'll batter each other in the next one. Not always the same team that wins, as we've just seen there with Germany. They'll not be finishing top, so they'll be having another battle with another one of their opponents. But yeah, we do see that quite a bit, and in some ways it's a good thing. You get to know your opposition, so you know their weaknesses and their strengths, and you can adapt your technical abilities to that, and the coaches can make some analysis on them, and hopefully they're doing the same things each time, and you can find a way around them. But on the negative side of that is that you do get a stalemate sometimes as well, or it could be a close game or it could be a stalemate. But as you just mentioned, that last time that these two teams met, we went to extra time, and that was an amazing game. Just it seemed to last for an eternity.
Yeah, it was an absolute cracker. Had a bit of everything on offer as well. Had great rugby on both sides of the ball sorts. It had the extended period. It had dramatic last-minute kicks, and just terribly exciting.
Yeah, just in the break earlier, I was talking to some of the Belgian team there, and interesting enough, our pronunciation of some of the players isn't the best, so we do apologise to various people from various countries when we get it wrong. And I was having a chat with Erwin Muric, we've been calling him Murik, but he does tell me there is an Eastern European background to him, but when he's in Belgium, he does get called Murik, but his actual name is Erwin Muric. So that's one for us to just learn from. Always learning, never standing still.
Absolutely, and Muric, as you say, that is doing some squat jumps in front of us, which is quite a terrifying sight, if I may say so.
Yeah, there's a fair quad in there to lift up, and he does seem to jump almost up to the commentary box as we see Portugal getting ready for this kickoff, and I think it's Hayden Hahn is their usual kicker, number 13. We can't quite see who it is, but yeah, it looks like Hayden Hahn there. He'll be kicking off for them. He's got a lovely boot on him. Oh, apologies, as I now see it's Martin Diaz, isn't it? He's also got a good boot on him. We'll see some height on this ball, I'm pretty sure, with Belgium in their familiar two lifting pods, and they'll split when they see that the ball goes in the other direction.
Godsmark with the ball for Belgium, making the first break of the second half. Up to the halfway line.
Not on the ball.
Portugal trying to go for the jackal, but not even getting close on that occasion. So Marini has the ball for Belgium in the wide channels, rounds the defender, steps back inside, goes to deck, and they're up to the 10 metres now. That was lovely, quick breakdown ball, and they have the ball in the hands of Gaspard Lally once more. Had a fairly quiet tournament by his standards in Hamburg, but seems to be back to form here in Split, making a real nuisance of himself as we see the ball back in the hands of Godsmark.
Yeah, this is a bit better by Belgium. They're moving it side to side and showing their ability to put those passes in. And once again, Marini was on this near side where the commentary box is, just breaking tackles and really stretching that defence before moving the ball back to the other side, and eking out a penalty from the Portuguese team and opting to go for the scrum. So hopefully we will see the ball going through the hands to the 15-metre channels once more with these strong, flat, accurate passes that we know that Belgium can perform. As we see a couple of changes, as there's that man Muric coming on, Erwin Muric. Big unit, he'll secure that right side of the scrum, I'm sure.
Keep the pressure before the ball's in, okay? Both. Let's go.
Yeah, the Belgian set pieces look pretty good, but this will be one of the stiffest tests they'll have against Portugal. And just as I say that, we see Portugal catching the scrum half and jackling him successfully. A quick tap as well. And they'll look to get the ball maybe into the hands of Max Kutz. Or they'll look to burst through the middle. Oh, Marini with the tackle and the jackal. That's a big moment, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, that was really good work, really good tracking back there. You see the whole Belgian team coming back, but great pace from the Portuguese to go from their own 10-metre line right into the Belgian 22. But unfortunately at the end, just a slight little mistake there, allowing the Belgians to come in and steal that ball, as we see Muric, is it, or is it Godsmark going down that far side? Leg drive.
It's Muric.
It's Muric on that occasion. Sneaking down the far side, setting the ball up, but Portugal not letting it go. Wanted to keep in there, but Belgium managing to get the ball. Here we go, back to the other side once more.
Yeah, that's Gaspar Lally once more, but he's not allowed any space by Max Kutz. Oh, and the ball squirting out there uncomfortably. Oh, under a huge amount of pressure, Portugal capitalise on the error from Belgium. Heads in their hands kind of stuff for the Belgians. Brian Godsmark with a wry smile. And Portugal get a 5-pointer out of it. Here we see it.
Absolutely, and presence of mind to get there. I like the idea that that Belgium had there. I think it was Vincent Hart. It was an accurate pass to a good position. However, he didn't realise that, was it Diaz there coming up there, was going to be on hand to receive that pass as he tries to convert his own try. Not to be on this occasion, but that's Portugal up 10 points to 7. This is a great match though, Ian, I have to say. Up and down the field, we're seeing Belgium with much more accurate passes generally when they're going forward. However, under pressure from Portugal on that occasion, Vincent Hart tried to throw the fancy long pass and probably should have held on to it and reset. I'm sure his teammates and his coach for sure will be saying that, but if you don't try these things, you don't get them.
Yeah, and it's easy to say after it's happened, and it's easy to say from up here in the commentary box. We're not down there, Andy. I know you've been down there before. Played a lot of sevens rugby. But I'm sure you made mistakes like that as well. Please deny it. Please deny it.
Absolutely never made a mistake in my life. Obviously, it was always the referee's fault. Everyone knows that. As we see the kick not going 10, another little mistake. Portugal need to cut those silly mistakes out. Those are the kind of coach killers. Those are the ones that just let teams back into the game. We're seeing 3 minutes to go in this game. Plenty of time for 1 or 2 scores.
Yeah, and this is what you want from quarterfinals rugby, isn't it? It's a close game going all the way to the wire. 2 quality teams throwing blows, trading blows. Muric, he's being allowed no space to gather momentum, and even being turned over on this occasion, and that's no mean feat.
Yeah, that was a great steal. I think it was your favourite player, Costa, that got in there, got his hands on the ball. He couldn't get into possession to spike that ball back or roll it back. He just got caught with Costa's hands on it. So great turnover for Portugal. They're fighting for every scrap at the moment. And Belgium really need to take care in those possessions, make sure they hold on to ball.
Yeah, it's a slender lead for Portugal at this moment in time. Only 3 points with 2 minutes left to be played. Line out just taking all the time in the world. But Belgium rise well and tap it back on their side. Marini is able to get the ball to Gaspar Lally, who just throws a wee dummy and an inside offload to Marini, who opens up nicely with a looping pass. And out down the left hand side now. recycling that ball, unfortunately, slightly slowly, and that just gave Portugal an opportunity to regroup. Belgium once more, playing wide left. Muric stepping inside and embracing the collision. Lally, he started it for Belgium, and he's over with a minute left to play. He's got a second score in the quarter-final. Belgium take the lead.
Yeah, that was great play, from going from their own 22, holding on to ball, moving the ball side to side, just taking contact when they had to. Great defence from Portugal initially, working really hard to get back, get into the right positions. However, Belgium with the presence of mind to move that ball into the speedster, Gaspard Lally's hands, and he took that opportunity, found that gap, and under the posts he went for a 7-pointer, which takes Belgium 14 points to 10, and I'm sure we'll hear the hooter go once this ball is in the air.
It's a good long kick, and that is the hooter. So Portugal will have to go the full length of the pitch. They get a penalty, and that will help them. They tap it quickly.
Okay.
The Belgian defence rushing around them in the middle of the park, and the ball squirts out the back of the ruck, and Belgium do seem to come out with possession. Ferocious rucking from both sides, but the penalty to Belgium, and all they'll need to do is tap it and get it off the park. That's exactly what they do, and Belgium getting the upper hand on Portugal in the quarter-final once again, as they did in Hamburg. Not quite as long and epic fixture as it was there, Andy, but an exciting cup quarter-final nonetheless.
Yeah, that was really, really good play by Belgium there. You saw them fighting for the ball there. They tried to go long with the kick to get it into touch. Didn't quite get there. However, on this occasion, once they did get the turnover, they had 3 men to the breakdown, securing that ball to make sure they got the opportunity to get the ball into the hands of a kicker to get it out the park to go away with a 14-10 win over Portugal. And that will mean they progress on to the semi-finals. The next game coming up in a few moments will be Great Britain against Spain, which promises to be another cracking game. We'll be with you in just a moment for that one.
Welcome to the Great Britain and Spain.
And the last of the cup quarter-finals between Great Britain and Spain. This is the business end of the competition, and as I promised, some favourites would crystallise themselves as the play progresses throughout the day. And at the moment, with the results as they are, Italy and France are in the best positions for the podium in the total series standings, but anything can still happen here in Split. There may still be some surprises along the way. Great Britain against Spain is the game in focus here. It's the last of the games for day 2, and we're looking forward to an absolute cracker. Spain able to retain possession from their own kick, and then they do cough it up, and that is Samuel Kildun with a little grubber kick on the inside. A lovely display of skill, but it doesn't quite sit up for GB on this occasion. They will retain possession through the scrum, however, as Spain unable to gather the ball cleanly. And Frostwick just communicating with Tom Burton, his first ball receiver. Rowan Frosty Frostwick, captain of this team, the little general. And we go pitch side for an interview with Gaspard Lally, the victorious Belgian player.
Congratulations on that win. How do you feel after that?
Yeah, very happy. Very happy. The same. It's the. How do you say? How do you say when you see something back in the future? You know, like we did the same last week against Portugal, a very hard and tough game in Hamburg. So it was very competitive one.
Yeah, this was a little different to the Hamburg game where it went to 9 minutes of extra time.
The longest of my life, longest game of my life, of 7th.
And I'm sure you'll feel the same for us as well. We had to commentate on that, but it was a great game and you got that try at the end to win it. How are the rest of the team feeling?
Now we have our main game, you know, to build on. We've built winning the system and the confidence all this weekend, very long weekend, and so now we are happy to face the semi-final, which was our goal at the beginning. So yeah, after the rough tournament in Hamburg with the connection of the players, there we are very happy and very relieved about the pressure.
Well, congratulations, you've made it to the semis. Let's see if you can make it to the final. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Merci.
Bye.
Lovely reaction from Gaspard Lally there, the victorious Belgian team. And as that interview took place, we saw Britain with an extended period of pressure there in the Spanish 22. One grubber kick from Samuel Kildunn early in the game, and we saw another one from Burton that didn't quite work out either, but that must be a tactic of theirs in the quarter-final. It'll be a Spanish scrum, however, just steadying itself, and Spain delay the put-in until it is set correctly, and they play into the middle of the pitch, taking on Samuel Kildunn, the young man in the centres. Recycling well. Spain recycling once more, and they're moving the ball wide as they like to do. They found an overlap here as Lloyd Gilmore shot up. Just presented the opportunity for the missed pass, and Spain have made good territory gain with that phase, up to the 10-metre line almost, and attacking once more in the wide 15-metre channels. Spreading the ball really well and finding gaps in the British defence. Running away, it looks like they will start the scoring in the last of the men's quarter-finals. Rocarias Mulas of Spain gets the 5-pointer for his country. Spain with the early advantage through that try, and it should be the simplest of conversions, and indeed it is. A 7-point lead after 4 minutes of play. Andy Knight is getting his fitness working. I'm going to give him a minute to get his breath, catch his breath. He's run up the stairs and he's sitting next to me once more. And Spain, with a patient attack going all the full length of the pitch, get to kick off, and they retain possession, hacking it up the park and pressurising Great Britain, who have coughed up possession. Spain extend their lead once more, and we just see the intensity of this Spanish team. They seem to have notched it up a gear for the quarter-final and knockout competition.
My goodness, Ian, I go down to do an interview and you'd let the Brits have 2 scores against them. However, from what I've seen down there, the Spanish pressure has been too much for them to handle at the moment. We just saw Lewis Wells going back to try and secure that ball from a lucky kick from the Spanish team, who's probably made his own luck. But then you see the rest of the players come through, and that was a fantastic way for them to finish off that move with 5 minutes in. Takes them up to 14 points to 0 against GB.
Yeah, it's a good summary of events, isn't it, in the opening exchanges. The Spanish pressure just a little bit too much, but that ball falls kindly for Samuel Kildunn, and he's streaking away, jogging under the posts, unchallenged for an answer from the British team, and they reduce the deficit by 5 points. And this should also be for Tom Burton just the simplest of conversions. He knocks over the extras, calm as you like. It's a 7-point game.
Yeah, a bit of an opportunist try there, wasn't it? But you have to be in the right positions to be able to get those opportunists tried, and well done to Kildun there. Much better. This might help to get GB back into the game and give Spain a little shock there, as we see the nice high kick from Frostwick once more, but well taken by Spain as they land it down on the right hand side here in the 15-metre channel.
Yeah, and Spain are off again once more with the trademark wide, getting the offload off the floor to a man who scored many a try already in this tournament, Canepa Mendo, getting 4 in one of the previous group games. Oh, and just when everything seemed to be going well for Spain, moving the ball freely, they do suffer from an unforced error of their own, and Great Britain with an opportunity from the scrum.
Yeah, we don't see many mistakes from Spain, do we? They, on that occasion, the ball just a little bit too high, took his eye off it, or possibly caught in the floodlights. Change of scenery for them, from going from sun this morning to floodlights now. Might not have been a good thing on this occasion, but gives Team GB a little bit of an option here to launch from and try and get their fast runners going at speed.
And Burton playing Frostwick on the wraparound. He's caught by the Spanish defence. They saw that coming, and as the defending player loses his footing, Spain get a penalty and they come away quickly up into the British half. And the passes are sticking now, stepping and changing the point of attack and the angle of attack as well, and getting the hands free for offloads. That's lovely sevens rugby that we are being treated to in this quarter-final. That ball's gone backwards, so Spain regather and scamper in through number 11, Romero Basco, the captain of the Spanish side.
Yeah, that was a lovely finish off there from Romero Basco. It could have been done a little bit earlier, however, a little slip on the ground meant that the ball couldn't be released and had to be a basketball pass. It wasn't as sharp as it usually was. But if I take you right the way back to that scrum where there was a turnover created by Spain when the Frostwick went on the wraparound, if you watch the Spanish defender, he didn't follow the ball, he followed Frostwick, and as soon as Frostwick got it in his hand, he was tackled from behind. That was a lovely move to allow Spain to get that ball, get the turnover, then move it down this right hand side where you had the likes of Romero Basco standing and waiting, as well as Carrera Menier. Great play by Spain, deserved lead as they go into half time here, 19 points to 7.
Yeah, and we'll talk a lot more about the action, but just a quick reminder, we have had a change to the schedule tomorrow, so anyone logging in online or with tickets to come and watch it live, everything will be happening a little bit earlier. Ranking finals will start at 2:30 p.m. and the finals of the Cup will start at 6 p.m. instead of 7:30. So a lot happening an hour and a half earlier than planned. That's to avoid the severe weather warning here in Split. Back to the action though, and the match in hand.
Yeah, thanks for that info again, Ian. Really good for everyone to know when they're coming down, or if they're coming down tomorrow, to know the times for that. There'll be plenty going on. And if I just take you back to the interview I just did with Gaspard Lally from Belgium, absolutely lovely man. Gave me a bit of an ego boost. He knew who I was, so that was the first thing that was very interesting for me. But he was just saying that their goal for this weekend was to redeem themselves from the last tournament and get to the semi-finals. That was their main goal, and from there onwards they then worry about where it takes them. And very happy with how they've got there, and also very happy that they didn't have the same game against Portugal that they had in Hamburg, where it went to 9 minutes of extra time. So really good to hear that from him, as we see Frostwick kicking off for GB in the second half.
Yeah, the fourth and final quarter-final of the Men's Cup competition. Well underway here. Spain with the edge against Großbritannien. Sorry, I'm switching to German all of a sudden. To Great Britain. And they just look to move the ball wide once more. Patient build-up, as ever. attacking around the 15-metre line, and it's a high tackle on Canepa Mendo. He's been threatening almost every time he's had the ball in hand, so maybe just a little bit of being overly zealous in defending him from the Great Britain players.
Yeah, I think he just lost his footing a little bit. Both players, the defender and Canepa Mendo as well, just lost his footing. So nothing malicious in it, which is good, but good opportunity for Spain just to calm things down a little bit, eat a few seconds off the clock and get the ball down the field, gain some territory as we see a few changes coming on for GB. As the line out is not quite ready, the referee indicating that it's not quite ready. He was just waiting for all the substitutions, or all the substitutes to be off the field. Now we're ready to go again with a Spanish line out.
Yeah, and they go for the long line out on this occasion. It's a lovely off-the-top ball, and they're releasing their quick men into space. Canepa Mendo with the dart down, and the race for the try line. It sits up not for him, but for Sorelos Uria, and that is another try for Spain. And that was textbook set-piece play of the long line out.
Yeah, that was a good line out which they won, and then it was just plain and simple, hands fast out in front, put the ball in front of the player so he can run onto it. Little kick through, and I have to say Owsley might be a little bit disappointed, felt that he maybe got nudged in the back there. It was a great bit of speed by the Spaniards though, and they well deserved to score, eventually popping up to Sorelos Uria.
Yeah, good stuff there from Spain, and they just extend their lead. They've missed one conversion, so it's after 4 tries it is 26 points to 7, and they're just slowly tightening their grip on it as Kildun recycles to Frostwick, and they play out to the wide channels. That is Owsley, who was beaten by the bounce of the ball in that last try. Kildun taking the game to Spain, but losing possession illegally so. There were hands in that breakdown, so Great Britain with an opportunity to get right back into this, and they'll need to get points as quickly as possible with almost 3 minutes gone of the second half and the 19-point deficit. The Spanish defence moving forward, staying organised. Oh, and that is a great line from Great Britain's Radcliffe, who scampers away for the try.
Yeah, Joshua Radcliffe just going through there at pace. We saw him in a previous game. There was a instrumental strong man going forward, but also he had a lovely little tap and go at one point to get a score. However, the conversion not going over, so it's just a 5-pointer on this occasion, bringing GB up to 12 points against the Spain's 26. Frostwick with the kickoff again once more. He gets some good height in these kickoffs. Once again, it is good height. Radcliffe's going to be up there for the... He's taken it 2 hands. Fantastic work by him, and GB have the ball back, but then they sealed it off, giving the ball back to Spain. Referee being very clear that the ball was being held on the ground there. Taking no nonsense from the GB players there, as we see some changes happening for Spain with Lopez de Haro Justa coming on, and the try scorer, or the try scoring machine, Canepa Mendo, going off for a little rest.
Yeah, I just want to take the opportunity as they kick to touch to have a quick correction to a comment we made in the last game. I think we thought that Vincent Hart had thrown the intercept pass from which Portugal capitalised on and scored a try. It wasn't in fact Vincent Hart, it was another player. We apologise for that mistake and any damage done to the reputation of said player, Vincent Hart. But back to the action here, and that line out not going straight for Spain, and Great Britain will be awarded a scrum. And they fought their way back into this. It's a 14-point deficit now with under 3 minutes left on the clock. approaching the end stages of this game, and Britain will really need to apply some pressure from this situation, which they do. Darting through a half gap is Tom Burton, who unfortunately just gets caught around the neck as he falls. It's advantage to GB. And in scampering in for the try, it's Lloyd Gilmore, 14 GB, so that's exactly the reaction they needed in that moment. They've reduced the deficit once more, only 9 points now with the conversion still to come. Tom Burton gets on with it, and he's unfortunately just slid it past the left upright. And with that, they will require 2 scores.
Yeah, that's a bit frustrating. The last 2 tries that they've got haven't managed to put the conversion over, so they still need 2 scores if they want to try and beat this Spanish team. And there's only just over 1 minute left to go as we see the ball going high from Frostwick. Good chase once again from GB. However, there was a little knock on as he kicks the ball away. I think the GB players will be asking a question. Referee not interested on this occasion. Hasn't even stopped the clock, so scrum down. GB ball in a prominent position where they can launch from, get their fast men on the ball, and try and disrupt this Spanish team.
Frosty Frostwick with the ball off the back of the scrum, bringing his team into attack, and unfortunately that pass just behind Freddie Owsley, and he knocks on, giving Spain possession and opportunity just to see out the dying moments of this game with ball in hand. Only 15 seconds left on the clock. By the time the ball emerges from the scrum, they shall probably only need to catch and get the ball off the park. The hooter will sound any time now, and it is the victory for Spain. So we now know our semi-finalists. We will have France against Spain, and we will see in the other semi-final Italy against Belgium. So what a day of action it was here on day 2 in Split. We struggled to keep up at times. It was such a fast-paced event, and we look forward now to a fantastic evening of entertainment here in Split with the Gypsy Kings, the famous Gypsy Kings, playing some of their favourite music for all the fans here involved. I'll just take the opportunity to thank all the viewers who logged in their home nations, supporting the teams today. Again, a couple of errors on our side were flagged up. We apologise once more for that. We hope it didn't take away from your enjoyment of proceedings, and we hope that you will be back tomorrow to view live. One more quick reminder that there has been a change to the schedule of events tomorrow. We have a weather warning, a severe weather warning for the evening. For Sunday night, there may be some thunderstorms coming in here in the region, and to avoid any disruptions to play, the schedule has been drawn forward. So check out, please, on social media, on the Rugby Europe homepage. Please check out the updated times as event progresses. It'll be for the finals of both the ranking tournament and the cup competition will be shifted 1.5 hours earlier to avoid that severe weather warning. Now my expert Andy Knight has just dashed off once more to see if he can get an interview pitch side, and with that we will close out the proceedings here on the live stream of Rugby Europe. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy your evening. We will see you again tomorrow morning for the final day in which we will see the champions of Croatia Sevens crowned, as well as the Rugby Europe Sevens Championship Series 2026.